Today brought us update 4.6 for Battlefield 5, and whilst it has a lot of fixes, some things are really disappointing in this case. And because of that, prior to going into the update's patch notes, I'll first go over a couple of points that were supposed to be in this update, perhaps, but have been delayed. So first of all, update 4.6 launched today, and they have seen some positive results on the top 3 issues that they have been triggering since the last update, update 4.4. And they are confident that they will be seeing a resolution to the high ping and the firestorm loot issues that have been affecting players this month. And besides that, there's also tons of other fixes and improvements in this month's update, of which we're able to hear some later on in the video, and if you want to see the full patch notes, click the link in the description down below to go to the EA website. However, one of the most important things of this update, in my opinion, is something that we have been waiting for roughly 3 months. Finally, at last, Sundan will go live on Conquest and Breakthrough following this week's release of the update. And I remember that they originally did have this map set on Conquest and Breakthrough for the launch of Chapter 4. And now it finally launched after Chapter 4 is over, which is somewhat disappointing, but it's finally here and I'm really excited to play it. Furthermore, for some worse news, DICE's September update will not enable private games as they had hoped. It's absolutely coming to Battlefield 5, for sure, but they have slowed progress in order to keep their focus on fiction issues, which, in my opinion, is a tad more important because the state of Battlefield 5 isn't always that well. And because that, they're also ensuring that we are getting the right standard of quality with each update. And the next blog from the development team will be detailing the full feature set that they are expecting with the first release of private games. And this feature, the private games feature, is now planned to release during Chapter 5, so not even necessarily at the start of Chapter 5. And as some of you have noticed, these last 2 weeks were somewhat stale because we didn't have any content, we didn't have any news on content that was to come, we didn't have any new weapons, modes, maps, vehicles, gadgets, whatever. However, now, in the lead up to the Pacific Theater, we are getting Battlefest. And the way that they are going to do it in Battlefield 5 is, as you can see right now in the game, Battlefest will start on October 3rd. And it will feature in-game challenges that will allow players to unlock weapons, gadgets and maybe even other rewards that they will be detailing closer to the start of Battlefest. And by datamine and by temporal, we already had 4 weeks of content that were supposed to be somewhat of a Sides of War, which he called the Operation Underground Ice War. However, this now seems to be the Battlefest. And what he did in mind, still do take it with a grain of salt, because these things are always able to change, and Temporal did leak it 20 days ago, so a lot of things could have been changed in the meantime. But what he knows those 20 days back, those almost 3 weeks back, is that in week 1 we should be able to get the Jungle Carbine, in other words the Lee Enfield No. 5, which is a bolt action carbine for the meta class. Week 2, he didn't leak a reward yet. However, we now know because of announcements by DICE that we might indeed get the C96 Trench Carbine in this week that was scrapped from Chapter 4. Week 3 should bring us the Madsen MG, which we all know by Battlefield 1, and week 4 should bring us the Fliegerfaust, which is an anti-aircraft launcher for the assault class, a gadget. However, as I said, do take it with a grain of salt, because whilst Adam Freeman, one of the community devs, did talk about the Trench Carbine, the Madsen MG and the Fliegerfaust coming throughout October, we don't have any news on the Jungle Carbine that was leaked. I asked Tampiel over Twitter if it was still possible that we could see this weapon, or that it was safe to say that this weapon had been scrapped. But he replied that it isn't necessarily scrapped, because rewards were often announced a bit random in the past. Tampiel says that he remembers the official blog post for Dice of War Chapter 4 unveiling the S2 200 MMG and the Panzerbuchse 39 while totally ignoring the Carabin 1938M, which arrived almost 2 months before the Panzerbuchse did. So the Jungle Carbine doesn't necessarily need to be scrapped, but we don't have any news by DICE on that. So totally expect the Trench Carbine, the Madsen MG and the Fliegerfaust coming to the game, but be skeptical about this Jungle Carbine. And now with Battlefest starting on October 3rd, and also most of the challenges that Tampiel at least leaked 20 days ago going over Operation Underground even for the first week. This brings us to the next point. Operation Underground is being delivered in the 4.6 update, so today, but they won't be selling it live until October. So expect Operation Underground to launch next week with Battlefest, but I of course am not one of the devs, so that's just a speculation on my part. The final point that I want to go over before going over the patch notes is that Firestorm is getting loot changes and possibly even a respawn mechanic. Because in blogs published after EA Play, the devs said that they were working on introducing a radically different looting system, as well as a respawn mechanic similar to the one found in Apex. And these plans are presently on hold and are being re-evaluated whilst they do focus their efforts on restoring quality to the core of the Battlefield experience. As we all know, it's not in the place it should be. So, in my opinion, it's very good that they do value the core Battlefield experience over Firestorm, because Firestorm, in a way, is almost, if not entirely, that already. It takes a very long time to find a match, at least that's how it was for me the last time I played it. But now finally, why some of you might be here, the 4.6 patch notes. As I said in the start of the video, it does contain a lot of fixes, but these fixes I won't list in the video itself. For that, you have to go to the description and click the link, or find the patch notes yourself online. However, update 4.6, what's new? As I told you guys, Sundan is now finally available on Conquest and Breakthrough. Battlefest will bring us new weapons and gadgets deploying throughout October, with the Trench Carbine, the Madsen MG and the Fliegerfaust being confirmed. There are also being changes made to range of motion when prone, different sidearms are getting balanced, and we are getting an overhauled logic and UI for ammo, health and repair requests. However, one of the biggest changes in this patch is some of the weapon changes coming to pistols, with these pistols being the Ruby pistol, the P08 pistol, the P38 pistol, the Repetierpistole M1912, the M1911 and the Mark 6 revolver. The Ruby pistol is now getting an increased 4 hit kill range from 7 to 12 meters and an increased 5 hit kill range from 12 to 22 meters, and above 22 meters the Ruby will require no more than 8 bullets to kill a player at range. The P08, the P38 and the Repetierpistole are getting an increased 4 hit kill range from 12 to 22 meters, and above 22 meters these pistols will require no more than 7 bullets to kill a player. The M1911 is getting an increased 3 hit kill range from 7 to 12 meters, an increased 4 hit kill range from 12 to 22 meters, and above 22 meters this pistol will require no more than 7 bullets to kill a player at range, as well as the P08, the P38 and the Repetierpistole. And the Mark 6 revolver is getting decreases at somewhat massive nerf. It gets a decreased 3 hit kill range from 30 to 22 meters, a decreased 4 hit kill range from 50 to 30 meters, and it now turns into a 6 hit kill range starting at 50 meters. And then there are the interface and experience improvements, which mostly have to do, as we have said, with the medic request changes, the ammo request changes and so on. I will quickly have those on screen right now because there's nothing really much I can explain about that. So here are the changes for non-medics when low on health or when requesting health. Here are the changes that you will notice as a medic. Here you can see the changes as a non-support when low on ammo or when requesting ammo, and the changes of course as a support that you will notice. Adding on to that, some changes that you will experience when low on vehicle health or when requesting repairs, and also if you do own a repair tool as a support, there is what you will see. Then there are some additional improvements that also aren't too major, so once again, as with the other fixes, see the link in the description down below to see all of those. And at last it tells us what is being worked on for Chapter 5, which is the Pacific, the private games, and further improvements to game performance and stability. But that's all for now, and as always, I hope to see you in the next video.